Ukrainian forces have intensified attacks on Russian military and logistical targets. In the past 24 hours, strikes have hit 2 refineries, key radar systems, a major command post, and a modern naval ship. On the night of October 4th, 2025, the Ukrainian Special Operations Forces targeted the Russian Project 21631, Buyan M. Grad. Small missile ship, hull number 575. The operation took place at 4:31 a.m. in the waters of Lake Onega, located within the territory of the Republic of Karelia. Preliminary reports indicate that the strike hit the right side of the ship's power plant compartment. As a result of the attack, the vessel sustained critical damage, significantly limiting its maneuverability and combat effectiveness. The ship was en route from the Baltic Sea to the Caspian Sea, likely to reinforce the Russian fleet's grouping in the southern region. Its route passed through Russia's internal waters. Grad is among the newest ships of the Buyan M class, having been commissioned into the Russian Baltic Fleet on December 29, 2022. A Russian assault group recorded the moment an FP-5 drone struck them, seconds after they failed to shoot it down. Russian blogger Vault8 reveals that Russian artillery is hobbled by both heavy losses and the inability to deliver shells. For example, I wrote that the goal of the Ukrops is to disable our artillery support using drones. They have significantly reduced it this year. Losses in mortars and guns have increased. Currently, only individual guns can be used not only because of a shortage of shells. Supplies are periodically replenished. Number, because the roads are under enemy drone control. Maneuvering areas within a zone of less than 10 kilometers are also controlled. Because our drone component is not as developed as the enemy's, and artillery works hastily and in small amounts, infantry attacks now are ineffective. Previously, this was attributed to laziness and incompetence in preparing attacks. Now it is already difficult to provide fire support due to enemy actions. If anything, I am only talking about my direction. Where Rubicon operates, the Ukrops are in trouble, and we have over 200 enemy crews operating, with a daily expenditure of 100 to 120 FPV attacks on our troops. The situation is so-so. If anyone thinks I am exaggerating, no, I am not exaggerating. Even though we are on the defense, try attacking under such conditions. In short, there is plenty to do and think about in the coming months of purely military activity, while the negotiation track is on pause. Russian sources report that Ukrainian forces are storming the southern outskirts of Oleksivka, but were halted in a tree line under heavy FPV drone strikes. Russian artillery units were unable to engage due to Ukrainian drone surveillance and close proximity of troops, just 50 to 80 meters from the front line. The attack is still ongoing. Andrei Lugovoy openly lays out a playbook for hybrid subversion of the United States, from inserting operatives and buying politicians to stoking divisions, sabotaging governance, and meddling in elections. Wicked minds.
We just need to work more closely with all the contradictions that are there.
Well, for example?
We need to embed people there.
Where to?
We must, where? Into the internal life. We must work with journalists, we must work with politicians, we must buy them.
To infiltrate people with the Democratic Party, I'm asking a question, yes?
Yes, I am deeply convinced of this. When we talk about the aggressive soft power they use against us.
If there is a party that is extremely hostile to Russia, it is the Democratic Party. The Republicans are about as hostile to Russia. It will be very difficult to find supporters of our country here.
And I'm not talking about supporters. I think we should push them further. We must use the contradictions they have to bring them to a shutdown, not only in the economy, but also in politics, and we should not be shy about it. They often accuse us of interfering in their elections. We say we are not interfering. We really are not interfering, but we should be. We are developing our propaganda activities in the positive sense of the word there in Europe, in America. We must strengthen it even more. And we see the results. I will give you an example. We are doing it absolutely right. The same applies to Europe. Nevertheless, contradictions still exist, and we should still take advantage of them. We must pay close attention to the provocations they make. Do they want provocations? Let's do something interesting for them, so that later they won't claim it's a provocation, but internally understand that it was indeed a good signal for them. Because the red lines we have drawn, they have long crossed all these red lines, but we have not yet responded brightly to any crossing of any red line. Maybe, of course, this once again demonstrates that we are decent and respectable people.
But let's smash them all once and for all.
Orban bending under pressure? Hungary has just signed its biggest LNG deal ever with France's Engie, covering 5% of annual demand from 2028 to 2038. This follows a Shell deal last month for another 2.5%. Despite loudly defending Russian gas, Budapest is slowly diversifying after Trump urged an end to Russian oil purchases. Despite growing Ukrainian interest, the U.S. is unlikely to supply Tomahawk missiles due to inventory constraints and Navy priorities, 3 sources say. Instead, Washington may push European allies to step in with other long-range systems. Denmark's military intelligence reports that Russian naval forces have aimed weapons at Danish warships and helicopters, disrupted navigation systems in key maritime straits, and even sailed collision courses, all clear provocations. One Russian warship has been anchored in Danish waters for over a week. Authorities call it part of Russia's hybrid warfare strategy to instill fear, but they see no direct threat of attack. Ukrainian operators successfully destroyed several drones in Danish airspace during a demonstration operation. The event took place as part of an official visit by the Ukrainian delegation, focused on exchanging combat experience. As part of the exercises, the Ukrainian team specializing in countering strike drones launched a Sting drone into the air. During the maneuver, it accurately destroyed the target, a Danish Banshee drone that simulated an air threat. Representatives of defense agencies from various European countries were invited to the demonstration. They had the opportunity to personally witness the effectiveness of Ukrainian technologies in countering drones. The destruction of the target was recorded on video, which was shown to the event participants immediately after the operation. On September 29th, Ukrainian military personnel arrived in Denmark to share their experience in countering drones. The Kingdom of Denmark has launched joint exercises called Wings of Defense, in which Ukrainian specialists in countering strike UAVs are participating alongside Danish military personnel. The arrival of Ukrainian military personnel is intended to support partners in connection with recent incidents involving the appearance of unknown drones over the country's territory. During the week, participants will work on practical tasks, exchange knowledge and experience, and improve their level of training and capabilities in countering air threats. The armed forces of Ukraine will also train Polish military personnel to combat drones on Polish territory. According to Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski, this cooperation will enable the Polish army to better prepare for potential future Russian attacks.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comments section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.